So the scrotal sac is the scrotum. That's just the little sac here that holds the testes. The spermatic cord is this entire cord here that's got connective tissue around it. It's got blood vessels and so on. And also inside it is the ductus deferens or vas deferens that's actually going to carry the sperm along through here. Here you can see the ductus deferens kind of in isolation. So the little pink tube that's running, sort of the purpose of it, but the whole spermatic cord means the whole thing. The ductus deferens used to be called the vas deferens. So when you have a vasectomy, it means they can go in there and kind of cut out a portion of that tube, and hopefully that will do the job. If it doesn't, you'll find out. So, yeah. So the spermatic cord and the ductus deferens kind of go together, except the ductus deferens is literally just the sperm-carrying little tube, and the spermatic cord is the whole thing. So then the testes are here, the actual sperm-producing part, and also produce testosterone. And then the epididymis is this little part here. We kind of saw from the picture how the little seminiferous tubules go into the tubules of the epididymis, and so it's kind of sitting like a little beret on there. It's just kind of catching all the sperm, and then when the time comes, sending them on up here. So then the sperm are coming along here. Excuse me. So then there are going to be 3 glands, either paired or single, which are going to add fluid to the semen. So there's the seminal vesicles here, or vesicles, and you can kind of see one cut through here. They're just on the side of the bladder, so as the, well, here is the ductus deferens. This tube is actually going into the bladder. This is the ureter coming down the bladder. So here's the seminal vesicle, and it's going to produce probably the largest share, about 60% of the semen is made in the 2 seminal vesicles, and as it comes along here, it gets a chance to add into there. So then about the place where those join, here's the end of the so-called ampulla of the ductus deferens, which is not anything that's going to be put on there. But this is basically showing the end of the ductus deferens where the seminal vesicle is coming in as well. Then you briefly get a little place where we have a duct common to containing both input from sperm and input from the seminal vesicles. So this little part here is called the ejaculatory duct, which seems like a strange name because really most of where ejaculation is going to occur is going to be down the urethra itself. But this little piece is the ejaculatory duct, and then it joins and uses the urethra for the rest of its passage. The second of the glands is the prostate gland, and it's just a 1 gland, and it fits like a donut with a very small hole. It's seated below the bladder, and the urethra comes down through it. So if you have an enlarged prostate, you can see how that would kind of squeeze on there and make it hard for a guy to pee. So down here comes, and at this point, here's the urethra, joins the ejaculatory duct. It continues as the urethra, but now is a vehicle for sperm as well as for urine. So we saw the seminal vesicles on here, the prostate gland is here, and also here. And then the bulbourethral glands are, there's 2 of them also, and they're tiny little pea-shaped glands. Looks more like a little long sausage there, but they're a little about the size of a pea. There's 2 of them there. They just provide a little bit of mucus down in there, a little alkaline mucus to contribute a small amount to the semen and do a little bit of neutralizing of the acid from any urine that's there. So bulbourethral seems like a strange name. The old name was Cowper's glands, but bulbourethral, urethral because they're right near the urethra, and, although I guess some of the others are too, and bulba, the bulb refers to the end of the penis that is the bulb is actually the inside end where it's attaching down here. This end looks kind of bulbous maybe, but the bulb is actually here. So bulbourethral is telling you they're right down near those 2 aspects, the bulb of the penis and the urethra. So then we got the penis itself, here it is. The shaft, obviously needs pretty much no introduction. The glands is this little part at the end here. The foreskin is the little part that if this person evidently was circumcised because they have no foreskin left, otherwise they'd have a little covering in there. obviously that can't be on here. The corpus cavernosum and the corpus spongiosum we already met. So the corpus spongiosum is this burgundy-looking tissue here, which is going around the urethra and then forms the glands with a softer little piece at the end, and then the erectile tissue is the corpus cavernosum here, and there's two ridges of it going along. The urethra itself, and we talked about those are just the regions. Prostatic means up in the prostate region, the membranous going through down here, and the penile is most. Those don't exactly correspond to the types of epithelium where really only the beginning is near the bladder is transitional, only the end near the skin is stratified, and the rest is pretty much most of the length is pseudostratified column. And then the bladder, obviously not part of the reproductive system because it's part of the urinary system. So there it is. Female repro system. I'll leave those off. You don't have to go to the female system. I'll take that off entirely. So the mons pubis is this area here. So the pubic bone is somewhere underneath there, and it's just a sort of cushioned area, a fatty cushioned area here, basically where the pubic hairs would be. The labia majora and minora are here. The labia majora, the major ones, are the two outer ones, which are largely skin and a little bit of mucous membrane maybe in here. The inner ones, the labia minora, the smaller ones, are pretty much mucous membrane here. The vestibule is this whole sort of common area here, because unlike in the male, where the urethra can carry sperm and urine, obviously in the female, that's not going to be feasible. So we have a